In this video, we are going to show how we went from concept to application to delivery to create what I think is just an absolutely beautiful paint job on this Yak-54. So with the Yak-54, again, I'm doing something different. I've spent most of my life in biplanes, Christian Eagles, just about every Pitts variant there is. I've flown extras, I've flown a lot of different stuff, but virtually all of my competitive time is in biplanes. And so I want to do something different because quite honestly, at my age, I could still compete if I wanted to, but largely my competition days are over just because of the time it takes, the constraints and all that. I want to do some air shows, have some fun, gentleman aerobatics, that type of things. I still go out and play hard, but that being said, I still wanted to build the plane as if it was going to go into world-class competition, which, obviously with this airplane, it's kind of the apex of aluminum construction because pretty much everything Russian after the Yak-54 and pretty much everything Western after the Yak-54 went carbon fiber. So this was pretty much one of the last unlimited, if not the last unlimited design types to go through aluminum construction before everything went to carbon fiber. We basically started drawing out the paint scheme because obviously when we started this, all I had was a broken down T-Hangar that I basically had to restore the T-Hangar before I could put the plane in it to restore the airplane. And so we were just kind of getting our toe in the door at Dolphin Aviation here. And so we didn't exactly have the state-of-the-art facility to do this that we do today. And so it was very grassroots. It was very, okay, we're gonna make this work the best we can. But that being said, we basically got graph paper out, we got colored pencils out, and just started laying out design after design after design. In fact, I've got some of the design iterations framed and hanging up in my office right now because I actually did them, and I'm not really an artist, but Jacquelyn basically printed out blueprints of the plane, and then I did basically colored in overlays. And then what we did is we created, as you can see in the design thing, we really created a design book where we designed it and we had all the angles in the book, and then we used that to do the design layout. Now, when we did the layout on this airplane, we were using protractors, we were using, it was to the degree, it was to the 1/8 of an inch. And so one of the things that I'm really proud of is when you look at this plane, every angle on the wing intersects exactly with the same angle on the tail. It is precision, and it really came out good. For instance, when we did the design layout on the engine cowling, it took me 3 days just to do the paint layout on that cowling because it's a conical design, so it's narrower at the back than it is at the front. So to get all of those checkerboards to line up point to point to point, corner to corner to corner. I laid it out, tore it off, laid it out, tore it off, laid it out, finally got it right to get the paint design that we currently have. So we put a lot of time and energy, and when I say we, Jacquelyn, who's my producer, and my daughter, and who's interviewing me and all that type of good stuff, she was at Ringling College of Art and Design getting her degree when we did this. And in fact, she spent her Christmas break doing the tail because I wanted a ribbon cut on the tail, but I didn't want a sticker. I wanted it painted. So my daughter did the layout, did the design, and she's like, okay, Dad, I'm getting a degree in art animation on computers, but I've never held an airbrush in my hand in my life. So the crazy thing is, this thing came out absolutely spectacular. And it's the first time she ever airbrushed anything in her life. And we probably have, I would say we probably have close to 40 hours of paint labor just in the tail on this thing. And the funny thing is we had to completely paint the tail before the airframe was ready to paint. The plane was stripped down. After we did the design, we stripped everything down. We broke it down as far as we could. We white epoxied all the parts. So we got the whole plane turned white. So it looked like it was going to be a white airplane because it really is a high quality primer. And so we got all that done. But then in order to make the ribbon cut work within Jacquelyn's schedule, because you go to Ringling, it's pretty much a all-consuming degree program. And so I had to catch her on the Christmas break. So we actually had to stop the painting process and start the tail. So we literally painted the entire tail, the red, the black, the yellow, then put on the airbrush and then cleared it. And then as you can see in the pictures, we masked off the tail for the rest of the paint job. So the funny thing is the tail was 100% base coated, clear coated, airbrushed, everything done before we painted a stitch of anything on the rest of the airplane. But then we got that done during her break. You know, then we moved to the cockpit, laying out the black and everything in the cockpit, and then we laid out the stripes. And it was a very labor-intensive process. But, you know, like I say, we were using, we were hyper measuring, checking angles, everything we needed, protractors, whole 9 yards, making sure we had the design right on this thing because I wanted perfection. And so the cool thing about the airplane is it's designed that when it's flying towards you straight and level, it looks like a black airplane. When it's flying away from you, it looks like a red airplane. When it's going vertical and you're looking at the top of it, it's got angled bars. When it rolls over onto its belly, it has straight bars. And when you're looking at the fuselage and it's got the top to you, the fuselage is back. When the bottom is to you, the fuselage is red. Now, I did that so that at an air show or a competition, no matter what angle of attack the airplane is at, no matter whether it's coming towards you, away from you, going straight up, straight down, spinning, rolling, doesn't matter what it's doing, you know beyond the shadow of a doubt what the position of the plane is because it does not look the same from any two positions. And that's part of the design that went into this airplane so that if it's being photographed or it's being videoed or it's being judged, there's no question where the plane is going because it literally does not look the same from any angle. And that was, once we got into the painting, we went with a very high-end, you know, I'm an old paint body guy, car restoration, you know, Corvettes, Camaros, Chevelles, those types of things. And so when I paint an airplane, I don't go with the single stage paints. I don't go with the, you know, 1 or 2 coats and done. I use the same prime it, base coat, clear coat, wet sand, buff process that I use on a muscle car. And so this plane got the same treatment. So, you know, we put all the color down, then we put the clear down, then we wet sanded, and then we buffed to get it up to where, you know, we have the sheen and the shine on it today so that, you know, as of today, the paint job is, you know, about 8 years old. And other than a little bit of rash from use, which I'm actually getting ready to take care of, the paint still looks fantastic on the airplane. In fact, it's you know, as of this recording, I'm getting ready to strip and reshoot the landing gear and a couple areas on the paint job that needs some attention because it's not ready for a paint job, but it's definitely ready for a little bit of love, you know, just shot look. But that's, you know, that's kind of how we kind of dreamed it up, got it on the airplane. The biggest challenge is we had to shoot little parts at a time because when you're trying to shoot in a little T-Hangar, it gets foggy real quick, and so you got to just kind of, you know, do it as you can. I mean, this is you know, backyard barn painting at its best, and but you know, it came out great.